Yo, yo. We back. Let's pump out the rest of these five videos. Please tell me I put part five and I didn't put part four. Okay, let me put. Okay, yes, I put part five. I wanted to make sure I didn't put four again. That would have been awful. Um, it's letting me know that we streaming on Twitch, bro. What's going on with Twitch, bro? Ain't nobody from Twitch watching me. Sorry. But nah, for real, ain't nobody on Twitch watching me. What's up with that? Let's look up Corey the Man. So we live on Twitch right now as well. Corey the Man one. Um Live on YouTube, Corey the Man, y'all already know. Um I'm conflicted on this. Nah, let's see. Let's see what we can watch. Um I'm looking, y'all. Just 1 second. Damn, that's a whole hour and 37 minutes. I don't know if I'm doing that. Um Let's see what they got coming for 2K24. Mm, but I want to watch a symbol first. We'll watch 2K24 in the next video.
Mobile games are going big with Google Play Games. Build your deck in Clash Royale.
Games, and then we also see stuff get removed. And we don't always know why they get removed. Remember when we had promos in Universe Mode? Then they're just gone. Remember when we had show intros in Universe Mode? And it's gone. And it's gone! So it's starting to get me thinking, in 2K24, what could they possibly remove from the game? One of the first ones is something they just brought back, and I kind of have a feeling it's going to go one of two ways. Either they expand on this, or they're just going to scrap it all together and ignore it. And that is double title entrances and double title motions. This was a long requested feature from players and fans that wanted to see this brought back to the series, and then they did it. And then it was hyped up, and I was super excited about having it, and then I saw it, and then I was thoroughly disappointed, and I don't care for it. The only one that has a special entrance is gonna be Roman Reigns. Everything else is purely generic on the men's and the women's side, and it seems like such a flop. They never patched anything in for 2K23 with it. They never fixed anything other than the one title being upside down in the first month. So they fixed that. They're both right side up. Double title matches don't even really happen in WWE anymore since Roman has melted all the titles together. We only have the tag team titles, the undisputed tag titles, and that could just be a generic tag entrance if we need it. So I kind of feel like double title motions, unless they're really going to expand on them, I kind of feel like it's something they will remove. They weren't impressive. They didn't add any variety. And again, because WWE's programming now is single titles, I don't think it's really a focus that they need right now. I don't think they would end up putting more resources and time into this when they could just scrap it all together because it's not even mimicking what's happening on TV. And another thing that's not happening on TV anymore, we've had it for the last 2 games, and I do feel like this is going to get yanked. It's going to be the Thunderdome Arena. We are way beyond Thunderdome era, ladies and gentlemen. In 22, it was good that they brought it in because it was timely and it made sense. We had the LED boards. And then in 23, they brought it back again. But they brought it back and they kept it in as part of an arena selection. And at that point, we were beyond Thunderdome era already. But it was a possible Raw and SmackDown arena you could pick. I kind of predict that for 2K24, this is something they're going to remove from the arena selection. I don't think they're going to have it in there anymore. But what I could see them doing is just leaving the templates and the leftovers in the Create Arena menu, by leaving the LED boards in the Thunderdome Arena as an option as a template if players want to build it themselves. But I feel like they will yank it out and remove it and not have it in there anymore as a playable arena day one. Because I need more retro arenas. I need all the Raws and SmackDowns, WrestleManias, and everything. Like there's just not enough in there. When you turn it on day one, I don't need Thunderdome anymore, ladies and gentlemen. And something else they could end up removing.
It is a Raw arena, but I get
could be general manager mode. They could do one of two things here. They could remove GM mode altogether next year, or they could remove universe mode altogether, mash them both together into one. GM mode has so many good features in it, and universe mode is feeling so much more out of date every time I go in there, and it hasn't received any of the love, care, and attention over the years that I think
they
it
could
really
add it
needs.
in as a third
People love
option.
the sandbox aspect
The
of it,
class
but
mode,
it needs
superstar mode.
more. It needs
Then they
way
could have
more in a
GM
total
mode.
reboot. And GM mode is lacking a ton of features, and I feel like if they expand on GM mode too much, it's going to supersede universe mode. So in one aspect, I kind of feel like they could end up removing one of the main core features here and just blend it. And we saw that in years past where they would have general manager mode and then it evolved into just creating universe mode. I think we might actually be on a tipping point of that happening again. GM mode stays. One thing they could do is they could end up removing the feature of the class system. It really just irritates me that I have to have matches in general manager mode that are based off of weight class and what division the wrestler is in. So a cruiserweight versus a heavyweight is going to give me a better outcome than just the popularity of wrestlers or the storyline or the rivalry itself. Those are not realistic things when it comes to just WWE programming itself. Doesn't happen. It's based off the rivalries, it's based off the storylines and the titles they're going after, and that should determine how well my matches, how well my shows perform. But brawlers and fighters and cruisers and heavyweights and all of this, it's a really bad format, I feel. And I think 2K, if they want to keep General Manager going and put more effort into it, this could be something that they revamp and they revisit in 24 and remove that feature and just go with like a match star rating and rivalry rating and do it that way. That would allow more freedom too for players. Another thing that we could see removed, and I think this is actually a little bit more likely, more and more I thought about it over time, we might see them skip the showcase mode in 2K24. I really wouldn't be surprised if it's something they don't put in, and they put more time and resources and effort into expanding on general manager mode, revamping universe mode, improving my rise and everything else. Showcase mode probably takes a lot of the developers' time, effort, energy, marketing, all of these different aspects. And I feel like they have been put in a kind of a hard place when they've done the Rey Mysterio showcase and giving you 13 or 15 matches to play through Rey's career, and then flipping the storyline and flipping the game mode into John Cena, where you're playing as everybody else. I don't really see them being able to do anything unique or new under this mode and under the way they have created it with the slingshot tech and just playing through some matches with generic music in the background. I don't think it's gonna be any better if they did like a Randy Orton showcase. How can they make it different or unique? I feel like they've kind of capped out what they can do with it. So it really wouldn't surprise me if showcase mode just isn't even there next year and they focus in on the core modes, and then in 2K25, maybe they bring it back and they give you a 40 years of WrestleMania. Now, something else that we could see just getting completely removed altogether and brought back maybe in 25.
Backstage?
This holiday season,
I mean, there's really nothing to do backstage.
Treat yourself to great game.
Maybe backstage the content creators do
it.
Now,
I like having a backstage brawl. I like having a backstage or parking lot brawl. I like all of that. But in the last few years, it just felt like dog crap. And the reason I say that is because it's just limited to one-on-one. It's boring. There's no depth. I don't want to play it. I should be able to do fatal 4-ways or 6-way matches backstage, parking lots, go outside. Oh, I just want Here Comes the Pain, don't I? But if they're keeping it limited like this for backstage brawls, where it is just 1v1 in a backstage environment and you hit your moves and then it ends in a KO, it's not doing anything. If the environment from 22 and 23 were virtually the same with a minor tweak here and there, if they're going to do the exact same thing for 24, I think they could just end up removing it as an option. We don't see backstage brawls really on WWE TV. We see promos happening and then they result in brawls, but there's very few matches and fights, and there's no hardcore matches. So we don't see the backstage element really leveraged in WWE today. So for the simulation experience, I almost think they could take it away and then bring it back in 25 with like multi-man matches, tag team matches, fatal 4-ways, 6-ways, all of that to give players way more out of the backstage brawl. So because it hasn't had any love and care and attention, maybe it just gets removed altogether. But one thing I do want to see them actually consider removing, and it might actually happen, is the dodge feature and the red glowy effect for stamina and your health bar. I don't know why we have a dodge mechanic. They brought this into the series when they revamped it for 22.
I like the dodge mechanic. I was just using it the other day.
The updated controls. Some days I miss the 2K19 layout. And sometimes I'm totally comfortable with how 22 plays, but I don't really care for having dodging in there. It feels way too arcadey for being in a simulation experience. It's almost like you haven't decided which way you want to be. Do you want to be a full-out simulation style experience of WWE, or do you want to lean more on the arcade style? So having a dodge in there,
I like it for the cruiserweights because they dodge stuff.
Combos are not necessary, and we shouldn't have those in there. We don't see wrestlers dodging moves in a wrestling match. We see the reversals, and those should be really improved, but I think the dodge mechanic isn't something we should be looking at.
I guess
reversals, not dodges in wrestling. And the red stamina effect that happens, it actually just drives me nuts. I just hope it gets completely removed. You can turn it off with the HUD. I can turn off all the HUD, so none of that shows up, but sometimes I want to see at the very bottom of what my HUD is. I just don't want the effect of a red screen coming on because it takes me out of it. And again, it's an arcade element. It's not a simulation experience. And again, with gameplay, going on the outside and engaging with the environment might end up seeing changes, and we might actually see some things removed in terms of breaking the barricade sequence and how it is done today.
I have
because
not
what they might
broke
do
the barricade
is remove those
in
features like they've done for
2K23
22 and 23 and reincorporate the OMG moments, because those were kind of favorites for a lot of players. They might be able to revamp that feature, bring it back, but remove the way they've done it now, where there really isn't any of those giant moments and sequences in the game where you're going to do something on the apron or through the barricade. They might remove all of that altogether and try to redo it and give us the OMG moments, but updated into something new and fresh. When we go through all of the modes,
I would love to do the spirit through there.
2K, there's a lot in there.
But like an
create
updated
an entrance, create a video, create a
or
championship.
just give me the old
They
spirit.
do give us quite a bit when it comes to the creation suite. Not everything. Story designer is not there, and that's a big one people want, but something I can see them just removing altogether. Create a video. It's so limited, it's clunky, it feels old and outdated. You're trying to create these Titantrons. Why not just put in a bunch of Titantron templates and let us select those when we do create our wrestler's entrance, and just let me pick from a drop-down menu. Creating your own Titantron video is cumbersome. You're constantly trying to line things up properly. You're given just a huge amount of just generic effects that could happen on screen with a Titantron, where that's not usually even how WWE does it. It's usually just like a still image, or it's a slowly moving graphic of it. Why not just give us a bunch of different templates to leverage in Create an Entrance? Maybe remove Create a Video altogether as its own section and incorporate it into the entrance creator. So when you are going to select Titantron, you then go into either the existing ones for wrestlers or the custom ones that are going to be listed there as templates, and add in some text overlay, and then you've got a custom Titantron. But I can see, because this mode is not really of a high priority, doesn't provide a lot of value, I can see Create a Video just getting scrapped altogether. And earlier I mentioned how they could
need him not to do that.
GM and Universe
I need it
mode
for
together.
new characters.
There is something that I could see them next year in 24 totally removing, and that is Superstar mode. This is where you are going to select one wrestler and you are going to go through Universe mode. I don't feel like when they brought this in 22 and brought it back in 23 that anybody plays it, anybody talks about it, anybody leverages it within Universe mode. Maybe they are, but for me, it's not something that I play. I don't mind it. I kind of like the idea of it, where it's going to be more of a road to WrestleMania, focus on CM Punk as your wrestler, take him through a whole season, but it's so limited. You're not getting specific cutscenes for your wrestler, for the superstar. Everything is exactly the same as Universe, except for you're only pigeonholed to focus on one wrestler, which seems kind of redundant too, because within regular sandbox of Universe mode, I can just play one wrestler all the time and simulate the matches if I want. Superstar mode forces me to play every single week of TV that wrestler is on, and I can't simulate it. So right there, I don't even want to go into it, because if I just want to follow Roman Reigns' rivalries, why don't I just do a regular Universe mode and just play those matches as I see fit, instead of only singling him out. You get the specific stats in the different menu for it, and you can do some sub menu options where I'm going to go for Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble, go for a title, defend my title. I like that, but we could just take that and dump it back into regular sandbox Universe mode. Do it that way. But I'm sure there's a lot more that could end up getting removed. But tell me in the comments, what do you think are the features that they could end up removing, if any? I'd love to know what you think. Subscribe to the channel, hit a like.
Alright. Thank y'all for watching. We're going to be back in 1 second. I just got